make this money, it comes out on tap. Trying to stay private, but I got them groupies. Owe me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies.
Yo, what up, fam? What's up, Holly? Casey, what up?
I make this money, it comes out on tap.
What's good, Yabushas? What's good, Bish? What's good?
She a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies. I got the rubies.
What's going on? Come on in, Daily Swole Club people, getting your alerts. What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in, come one, come all. Come make some sick fucking gains with Daddy.
She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Trying to stay private, but I got them groupies. Owe me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies. I got the rubies. She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap.
I'm a defense lawyer. I don't know what you're talking about.
But she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies.
Sweet potatoes in the swole. Good choice. Wise choice. A wise decision. A wise move. A wise move, young Padawan. Very wise. The dirty. Pinch your nips, bruh. Pinch your nips, bruh. Yo, bro. Pinch your nips. I pinch your nips. Come on. Oh, that's right, Jessica. Welcome to the Swole fam. Kanana. HT, you don't. Careful with links. Don't be spamming the comments. I don't know what that is. I ain't clicking on shit right now.
She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Trying to stay private, but I got them groupies.
Careful, usually when you post links, Facebook won't let them through anyway.
The bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies.
Oh, is that the dessert? Oh, okay, thank you.
I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap.
I would send that to me on
Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans.
Damien, what up?
And I got the rubies. I got the rubies. I got the rubies.
Gotcha. I gotcha. All right, cool. Don't forget, everyone, I don't know your names on Instagram from, I answer so many freaking things. I don't look at the screen name all the time, so I don't always know. You might be like Swole Sergeant 92 on Instagram for all I know. Ooh, a Swole Sergeant. A sergeant in the Swole fam. All right, so we're about to get ready, everyone. Hello. What's up? What's going on? I love you. Yow, I love you so much. You're looking so sexy over there. I can't see your fucking face, but you're fucking beautiful. I think you're amazing. Yow. Yow.
She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap.
Give me the fucking rubies. Give me the fucking rubies.
Don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG.
I want some fucking rubies.
I got the rubies. I got the rubies. I got the rubies. She call me Captain, but I got
Arnold should play the genie in Aladdin. Fuck Will Smith.
Trying to stay humble, but I get real meaty.
Give me out this fucking lamb.
Yow. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies.
I got the rubies. I got the rubies. About to go live. About to do that dirty live. Zip bump. It's time to get zip bump. It's time to get zip bump going. Yow. Here we go. I'm making sick fucking games. Making sick fucking games. Sick fucking games.
The sun is shining.
Oh yeah.
The birds are chirping.
Oh yeah.
The bacon is sizzling.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing testicles. Testing testicles. Hairy, hairy, hairy ballsack. Testing testicles. Testing, testing, testing testicles. A testicles. Oh, welcome everyone to episode 1028 of The Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because for one reason and one reason only, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. So as always, you need to, shall pinch your nips. You shall pinch your nips during the intro. That is, you can't sit with us if you're not pinching your nips. So welcome to the sleeves. If it's your first sleeves, if I'm popping your virgin swole cherry, make sure you drop that in the comments. Some other good things are, I'm gonna announce it in a moment because there's only a couple hours left. So I want to make sure that everyone's in here getting your alerts before I lay that fucking taint on your face. I want to make sure that you hear this because it ends at like 11 o'clock tonight, I believe, as it were. The special launch for the shirt. So as everyone comes in, I'll just do it now. The pink drink shirts, fuck your pink drink, that whole campaign, it ends. I don't know if you noticed this, but there is a timer on the pages. The campaign ends tonight. I believe it's 11 o'clock. So you can see the countdown timer. You can order up into that time, but then they print and they ship. So those of you that purchased already, it will be going out. They will be printed and sent out today. All right, this is the last time that you can get. I think they're actually starting to get printed already. However, that's the last time that you can order, so they will be printed. So if you're interested in fuck your pink drink mugs, men's shirts, the men's shirts come in pink. You get women's tanks, and there's also a women's cut for a t-shirt too. And you can get them up until, I guess, 11 p.m. Eastern time tonight. But I would go to the site. Go to swolenormousapparel.com. There's swipe up links in my story, and you can see for yourself when it ends and just get yours. So remember, just a reminder, 25% is donated to charity, the Wounded Warrior Project. So it's for a good cause. Good cause, great looking shirt. It's funny as fuck. And yeah, I can't wait to rock that shit. So once you get them in, those of you that ordered already, those of you that ordered them, you have to tag me when you share that in your story. We're going to have like a ton of people that are sharing that shit. So I'm going to share... I'll share that, and I'll share all those in my story once you get them in. Make sure you tag me. What's going on, IG? What up? So we're live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. Live everywhere. Oh, Mark. It's Mark's first time catching the beginning on the Daily Swole podcast on YouTube. What up, Mark? What's up? First time I heard this intro, I thought he said roofies. Roofies? When did I say roofies? What word sounded like roofies? Swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, I said roofies. Well, I mean, look, if I could roofie you so you could watch the swole, if I had to, I probably would. I'd probably roofie you to watch the swole. I'd be like, hey, just take this. It'll make you make sick fucking gains. Just a little bit, just a little taste, just a little bit. Come on now, just take a little bit, just a little bit, just a little sprinkle. I'll help you make sick fucking gains. Any Family Guy fans out there? All right, so let's get into the show. Again, thank you so much. Those of you that have donated, supported that those of you that have purchased the Fuck Your Pink Drink shirt, thank you so much. It's going to a good cause, and also it's going to be an awesome shirt. And for those of you that are members of the Daily Swole Club, I know a lot of you got your notifications and your alerts to get here, but thank you so much for supporting the podcast. And if you're interested, for those of you that are not part of the Daily Swole Club, what it is, it's very similar to Patreon, only it doesn't go through any of that third-party bullshit. It directly supports the Swole. It directly keeps the podcast ad-free. It helps support the YouTube content creation, all the stuff I do on all platforms. So it's all support and just donation-based. There are a couple perks that you get along with it, but it's mostly just for donations and support. Those of you that have always been asking me, hey, can I support the show? Because Patreon's a real popular way to make sure that the content you like is continually created and stays at a high level and keeps on getting better. So those of you that have been promoting I shouldn't say promoting, I mean supporting and donating to the show and are part of the Daily Swole Club, thank you so much, because it makes a huge difference. I don't want to bloat these things full of ads and shit that you don't want to hear. I just want to give you updates from what I'm doing and what you want to hear. And then we get into the show and we fucking rock it. That voice and sick fucking gains. Yeah. You want to make some sick fucking gains? I should do a whole episode like that. Everyone's just going to get that like tingle up your spine. Like, oh, fucking God, that feels so awkward and uncomfortable. I feel so weird. And he's such a fucking weird person. He's such a weird person. That Papa Swole, he's such a weird man. All right. So anyway, lots of stuff going on, of course. Lots of stuff in the wind. Lots of stuff coming. A lot of things I'm updating on. A lot of things that I'm juggling. Just a lot of stuff. So the Swolenormous Nation, the Swolenormous world is growing fast, as always. But now we kind of hit this critical mass where a lot of you are coming in for the first time and asking a lot of questions. And I did this the other day on my Instagram story just for some context. I asked, hey, what do you want to hear? What would you like to discuss on an upcoming episode of the Daily Swole? And it's really cool because most of the responses, most of the things like, hey, I want you to talk more about this. Hey, I want to talk more about this. Hey, I hope you cover this. We've already done it either once, twice, 3 times, or 15 fucking times. So anyone that's asking questions, and not that we're not going to cover some of these topics again, of course, we're going to go over them in different ways. We're going to talk about different things in different contexts as we move forward, of course, because we're not stopping anytime soon. But those of you that ask questions, you have a lot of episodes that you can check out. So you can search them on YouTube. That's a very easy way because Google has a record of all of them. You can check them out in the feed. All you got to do is scroll, check it out, and I'm creating some sort of an archive as well that can be searchable. I don't know if it's going to be searchable by you, but it will be something where I'll start be posting like maybe some like throwback episodes and things of that nature. So there's a lot of stuff out there already, and there's a lot of stuff that we need to talk about more. But most of those questions, if not all of them, there has been a real blanket of coverage for all those topics, which is great. But of course, don't worry. We're going to talk about them all again. I'm not expecting all of you to go back and listen to 1,000 episodes, although a lot of you have. I don't know if anyone watching, I know a bunch of people have messaged me like, hey man, I caught up and I've listened to every single episode. I'm like, holy fucking dedicated. That's a lot of fucking episodes. Even that's a lot. I did the episodes and that's a lot of freaking episodes. So I know a lot of you have listened to most of them, if not all. Are any of you actually on the trek? You're on the journey. Are any of you on that mission to listen to every episode still? Some of you are actually going through systematically and trying to catch up. Some of you are working on it. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to go through. So those of you that ask the questions, every single one, I'm like, oh, I don't. The thing is, I don't remember what exact episode it was. I can't be like, oh, that was 295 or that was 414. I don't even know what the hell those are. Those are just numbers. Each one's a day, but they're all there. They're all there. They're all archived, and they're all they're descriptive in the title or in the description. So there's a lot of stuff out there. Just so you know, it will be beneficial to go back and to listen to some of those other ones and to poke through because the content's there. And yeah, sometimes my approach and the content that I would talk about, it has evolved over the past couple years. My personal my personal nutrition has locked down a lot more. I've learned a lot more about myself over the past couple years, which is fine, which is great. My stuff evolves. I'm not claiming to be perfect or that the message is 100% the same today as it was on episode 1. That'd be ridiculous to assume or to claim that. But for all intents and purposes, it's very, very consistent. Maybe some things, I'm a lot more strict when it comes to nutrition, but I want to clarify because a lot of people ask me about my nutrition approach and am I still doing X, Y, and Z? Nutrition is something that changes for everyone. You can't be static with nutrition. You're always going to have these ups and downs and these ebbs and flows. And what's interesting is I don't think that my nutrition is strict. A lot of people think about my food. When I talk about nutrition, a lot of people claim or will come back at me and say, that's so fucking strict. You have to relax a little bit. Honestly, I do not feel like I'm restricting myself. I don't know how any of you feel that eat a specific way, that know the foods that you like. How many of you love the food that you consume? You've done an elimination, you figured out what foods you like, but you really enjoy those foods. You don't want other things. Everything that I eat satisfies any kind of craving I'll have. For example, if I want something sweet, like if I just want, I'll have fruit. I'll have a bowl of frozen berries with coconut oil on them, and I'll sprinkle some cinnamon, and I'll shave some chocolate, and I have some, that's my ice cream. I don't need ice cream. That gives me quality nutrients and also satisfies any type of craving that I'll have. And it's very low glycemic. I don't have these types of binges that other people need. I don't crave pizza. I get nauseous when I smell it. I don't crave fast food. I get nauseous when I smell it. I just want the food that my body loves. That's what I crave. So once you figure that out, I'm telling you, if you don't have that yet, you're just not there yet, and that's okay. If you don't have that feeling, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you cannot relate to what I'm saying, you're just not there yet, and that's okay. It's okay to not be there yet because it's a journey, it's a process. It's not, oh, I need a diet, let me do that one. That's not the answer. That's why a lot of you fuck up with your diets. That's why a lot of you fall off the wagon, so to speak, is because you just follow someone else's fucking plan that you purchased online. That's why my content is a guide. That's why my content is a community. That's why my programs and my training revolves around that development of what's custom to you. And that's the most important thing to approach that's how your fitness and your life should be approached. It needs to be individualized. It needs to be on your fucking terms. You don't want to be dependent on someone being like, eat these things. Well, what happens when it doesn't work anymore? You have to go back to that person. Hey, Daddy, can you give me some new foods to eat? What can I eat? What am I allowed to eat? And you're sitting there weighing and measuring everything. That's no way to fucking live. If you're going to be a fitness competitor, you're going to be on a stage, okay, then it matters more, that little caloric, but that's no way to live for the average person. You don't have to get that granular, especially when you're just getting going. And once you get better and better at this, you actually have to get less and less, I guess, analytical, because you just know it. You can feel it. You can sense it. You're just aware of what your body needs, and you can adjust it casually. You know how your body reacts. You know how much food is X amount of calories. Like, hey, I want to eat a little bit more. You know what a little bit more is for you. And you stop depending on how you feel. You just know what is right, what is wrong, because you're listening, you're paying attention, and you're adjusting, and you're learning. And learning is the part that people don't do because we are taught to hate learning. And that brings us to the topic today, experience versus education. We are taught to hate education. We're actually taught and we're programmed to hate education. Think about school, think about middle school, think about high school, think about college. 99% of the shit that you're taught, you fucking hate. You don't want to learn about it. Liberal arts. Talk about waste of fucking time. It's shit you don't care about. It's shit you don't want to learn. You're forced to learn. You're forced to spit it back up on a test. You're forced to go to class. You're forced to, you have to go and learn this. You have to answer this. You have to pay attention to this fucking lecture. You have to read this book. Now, that can also be beneficial. It exposes you to things that maybe you'd never be exposed to, but more often than not, it's shit you don't fucking care about. It's shit that you don't need to know, and it's shit that makes you, on a low level, subtly dislike learning. And then once you get out of high school or you get out of college, what do? Do you start reading regularly? No, you fucking eject books. You just push it aside. I don't want to fucking read a textbook. I don't want to learn. Fuck that. I'm out. Hey, I'm free. I'm in the world. And then guess what? You never learn anything. You never chase knowledge. You never try to expand your brain. You never try to develop yourself as a person. And then you just become a fucking drone and you follow the leader. So education is not school. Education is not school. The trick with this episode is that experience and education are the same fucking thing. Okay? This title, a little bit of clickbait. It's the same fucking thing. Experience is education. And that's what I want to get across in this episode. A lot of people will be like, oh shit, experience versus education. There's no versus. Experience is education. What you think is education is a degree. What you think of education is sitting in a classroom and taking a test or an exam and having a certification. Hey, I'm a certified personal trainer. Most of you realize that just because you're a certified personal trainer doesn't mean jack shit. If you're not a certified personal trainer, it also doesn't mean jack shit. What does that mean? If you have a certification, you can legally, usually gyms will hire you because you'll be covered by their insurance or they'll be less liable. And if you have a CPT, it shows maybe potentially a minimum level of competency. But I know so many people that have certifications that don't know their fucking ass from their elbow. They don't know where the humerus is. And it's not funny. They don't know where the femur is. They don't know what the muscles do. They don't know how to communicate health and fitness to their clients. They just don't know. There are doctors that don't fucking know. There are nutritionists that don't fucking know. So education doesn't really hold the weight that we thought it did. And a lot of these PhDs or doctors, I'm tired of seeing on Instagram people call themselves doctors when they have a PhD. I think that's a huge confusion point for a lot of people. You have a doctorate. Okay, that's not a medical doctor. We confuse the term. Okay, when you say, oh, look, this doctor's doing this, that's a chiropractor. That's a physical therapist. The only reason a physical therapist is called a doctor is because they wanted more money. So they changed the master's, the requirement for 2 years to 3 years so the schools could get more money. And then, hey, you'll pay more for a DPT than an MSPT. That's the only fucking reason. It doesn't have to be 3 fucking years. Not to mention the last year is just clinical shit anyway. It's experience. Why do you think medical school and all these things, they make so much fucking money? Because the majority of it, what you learn is not even in the school. It's in when you go to the clinical sections, when you go to the residencies. That's where you learn your fucking shit. That's where you learn the actual tasks. That's when you learn it, when you're doing hands-on stuff, the experience. And a lot of these personal trainers or a lot of these people that will pass along information don't do it themselves. You're going to take health advice from a fat fucking doctor. You're going to take muscle building advice from a skinny personal trainer. You're going to take weight loss advice. How many of you have seen fat personal trainers? Now, I'm not saying that just because you're overweight doesn't mean you can't be inspirational, but I think it's a slippery slope trying to pass on. It's a little hypocritical, don't you think? Like, if it comes to business advice, doesn't matter if you're skinny or fat or old or young. If you know business, you know business. But you need to have a track record, right? You don't have to be in a certain shape to run a good business. I mean, you should be looking after your health, but you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the actual task, don't you think you should look the part? Don't you think you should have practice what you preach? You don't want to take business advice from someone who's never had a successful business. You don't go to these conferences for business and be like, hey, I've gone bankrupt on 6 businesses. Let me give you advice. Get whatever advice you're giving. Let's do the opposite, shall we? So there has to be some kind of level of competency, and it comes from the experience. And a lot of people that go to college and they get a certification, you'll go to get a job and they'll be like, well, what's your experience? You'll pay all this money for a college degree. You'll pay all this money for a certification. You'll do this and the other. But if you don't have experience, most people don't give a shit. It's more valuable for someone to have a lower level certification, but 15 years experience in the field. I would rather hire that person more often than not. Of course, they have to be decent, but let's say you're hiring a personal trainer. It's the experience that makes the difference. They can have all the degrees and all the certifications and really be a fucking jabroni. They're just good at taking tests because 99% of the certifications out there just require you to take a test. There's no hands-on or maybe a workshop for a couple days. That doesn't teach you shit. You have to have the experience, but experience is education. Doing it is education. You can pass along experience, can't you? How do you think we're here today as a society? It's because our ancestors sat around campfires and passed along their experiences, which educated the younger generations, and then they learned how to make fire, and they learned this, and they just passed it on to their kids, and to their kids. They told stories. They passed along experience. That's education. That's education. So when you think about what you're doing or what you need to do, you need to get experience. You're not going to learn how to train your body without doing it and without failing. You have to try things. You have to try this stuff with nutrition. You have to try this stuff with your training and your program design. You don't know what works for you. You don't know what you like. You don't know what your body responds to unless you've fucking tried it. And too many people ask too many fucking questions without taking any action. You can ask questions, you can program design, you can think, you can shift around, you can read all you want. You can read every fucking book. You can listen to every fucking podcast. If you don't take action and put it into fucking application, it means jack shit. Everyone's got fucking ideas. Ideas are a load of fucking trash. I've had tons of ideas that I haven't followed through with because I didn't think they were viable, but maybe they would have been. Guess what? This podcast was an idea. Swolenormous X was an idea. The virtual trainer was an idea. All this stuff, the Daily Swole Club, my fucking driving while gaining, nuts on chin, they're all ideas. Guess what? They worked. Great. What if I thought they were idea and people aren't going to like that? Why do you think I do different things? Every time you see a different post, every time you see a different style, I'm checking to see if things work. I want to see if you like it. I want to see if I like it. I want to see how it functions. And you don't know unless you try. Someone says, well, what if we did this? Okay, try it. There's no use debating over whether or not a training program works. Okay? Granted, you might look at something and be like, that's not smart at all. But guess what? If you look at a training program or you show me something, I'm like, that's not smart. That's not a good idea. What? And you'd be like, well, Papa Swolio, you just said you don't know unless you try. Well, it's because I have experience from trying things similar to that. And I know from my experience, at least, that that's not a good idea. You see what I'm saying? You learn. It doesn't mean you just do mindlessly stupid shit just because, hey, I haven't done it. I have to try it. But you have to have that experience. You have to create that experience. You don't know if you like to be a pescatarian unless you've done it. You don't know, well, I've never had grass-fed beef. I'm afraid of eating more fat. Well, how the fuck do you know? You can be afraid of it all you want, but it's not bad for you. So why are you so afraid of something you've never tried? A lot of people are afraid of starting to do yoga. That's why I go so hard on it. A lot of people will join Swole Enormous X and be like, and then message me, oh, shoot, I don't know if this is for me. I looked through this stuff and I'm like, why are you messaging me on day one? You haven't even fucking started yet. Go, do it. Do it. Before you open your mouth and say that my style or my approach isn't good for you, it means absolutely jack shit unless you're doing it. And if you don't do it, you have no leg to stand on. You can't say that. You're just lazy and you're not disciplined and you're not dedicated and you're not willing to put in the work. That's what it tells me. That's what it tells me from the start. Now you can flip that around and then make moves forward. But yeah, I do stuff different. Yeah, my approach is different. I'm not looking for the next 30, 60, 90 days. My 90-day dash program, that's just the fucking beginning. That's just the first periodized program to get you fucking in the mindset properly, to get you in the flow properly. Everything else after that, that's when you fucking ramp up because you've built that foundation, that base. Yeah, my approach is different. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with people coming in and being like, oh, shoot, I've never done this much yoga. I've never done this much mobility. I've never done this. Okay. And guess what? You don't have the results you want. So maybe it's something that you shouldn't be skipping. I love it when people are, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. I'm like, yoga, really? You've never fucking done it, so you don't have the benefits from it. How the fuck would you know if it works or not? You know, don't talk back when you have no experience. Everyone's got their fucking opinion about everything before you actually have done it. There's so many people that talk so much fucking shit without ever trying it. Try it. You're not going to die. You're not going to die by eliminating inflammatory foods. Quite the opposite. You're going to live better and you'll live longer. You're going to live more vibrantly. There's always pushback. Everything's scary when it's different. So what? So what? Everything's scary when it's different. Segregation, black people and white people used to be separated. Oh, scary, integration. Obviously, that's not a fucking problem. Obviously, that was just some fucking bullshit that we perpetuate over thousands of years. Okay? Not a problem. Not a big deal. You know, racism, everyone's complaining about racism and everyone's prejudice. It's at an all-time fucking low. As much as people want to complain about shit, rewind the clock like 100 years. Do you have any idea? No one knows because no one was fucking there. No one experienced it. No one experienced segregation personally. No one did. Most of those people are fucking dead. No one experienced slavery. You weren't there. You don't know what it was like. Like, there's a lot of shit that we just don't know. We can't relate to. We can't relate to World War II. We can't relate to that shit because we weren't fucking there. A lot of people talk, but they weren't there. They have no experience. People love to just pretend and to just run their mouths. You don't know unless you try something. You don't know unless you were there. You don't know unless you experienced it. And if you haven't experienced it, you can only guess. You can only just suppose. You can only just be like, I'm not sure. But it seems like blah, blah, blah. So you can take my word for it when it comes to nutrition and exercise. It's a great place to start, I'll tell you that, because we've had fucking hundreds, if not thousands of success stories. However, it's just a starting point because as you go through your fitness and nutrition journey, you're going to find those different paths that are best for you. I encourage that. I want you to branch off. I want you to start changing your training style. That's why my content is very educational and teaches you how to manipulate and teaches you the mentality behind these things and teaches you how to adjust your training to fit your needs and your schedule and your time management. It's not complicated. The reason why people don't have that experience and that education is because, number one, they don't fucking do it. If you don't start, you're going to get jack shit no matter what. So you can think, you can debate, You can wonder, you can plan, you can have all the fucking wonderful ideas and all the motivation, like, oh, I want to start, but I need some more motivation. I want to start, but I don't know where to start. Just fucking start. Tell me you don't know how to walk. You don't know how to fucking walk. You can't walk down the street. You don't know what a push-up is. You can't Google yoga and just start doing that. Sure, I have all that stuff in my site, but you could go on Google and fucking look it up. Do some beginner yoga class. Do it. Just find something and fucking do it. Oh, I didn't like that one. Good. Do a different one. Do it. So many fucking excuses. You have a phone. You're watching me right now. You could find out all this information. The reason why, for example, I created Swolenormous X is so you don't have to search everywhere. You go to one place and it's fucking right there because there's a billion results, but it's all out there. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just creating a nice place where you can fucking find all the wheels you want. That's all it is. That's all it is. How do you think I got educated? How do you think I got experience? By fucking doing it, by working out, by doing all that stuff, by learning and trying and testing. I've done almost every, it's so hard to say that. I mean, I've done so many different styles of training, so many different splits. Regardless of what I do now, what I say works for me now, wasn't necessarily what I did 5 years ago or 5 years before that. I've done endurance stuff. I've done cross training, CrossFit style stuff before. I've done it before. I've done trail running. I've done swimming regularly. I know what this type of stuff does to your body, and I know the effects it had on me. I know what effects it had on me combining with strength training, and I know the caloric intake and the caloric changes, and I've done it. I've tried so many different fucking things. I know certain training styles and certain ways of eating that have gotten me more slender and skinny, and it was really hard to keep muscle mass, so I stopped that and I went back to something else. And it's just learning and experience, but experience is education. Experience is education. People love to refer to a study. People love to refer to like one fucking study that 20 people did in northern Sweden like 2 years ago under specific okay, you can quote that all the fucking hell you want, but that's not my life in Florida. It's so weird. And it doesn't mean that research isn't important. I mean, that's how we learn things over time. But you cannot point to any fucking any single study and start quoting that as if, oh, that's the answer. I don't give a fuck if 15 people think that's a good idea. There's 7 billion people in the world. You're going to tell me that something that fucking 15 people did, oh, these 15 scientists agree that this is a good way to eat or a good way to, okay, good for them. They're not me. They don't have my fucking life. They don't have my experience. That's why a lot of this bro science gets bad reputation, like the bro split stuff and the total body. Go tell all the people that are doing splits that are getting amazing results, getting the results that they want, you tell them that it's a bad idea. We don't know all the answers. We're just fucking guessing and learning as we go. But all this experience and the internet is so brand new. We're learning all this anecdotal stuff that, oh shit, this stuff, tell me it doesn't work. I mean, have you done it? Have you tried it? Have you literally done it yourself? So how can you talk about it? How can you talk about it? How can you discuss it? How can you claim that that's a good idea or a bad idea if you haven't had any experience yourself? If you're going to talk about it, that's fine. We can have discussions about things, but you have to be open. You have to be open-ended and open source and explain that transparency that you don't have personal experience. If I talk about anything that I don't have personal experience with, usually I don't talk about it. If you've listened to the podcast for a while, and a lot of you have, I'll be like, I don't have any personal experience. I can't really speak on that, or that's medical. That's out of my expertise. And I'm like, I just couldn't give you an accurate answer. If I have an opinion, but I'll volunteer it up as an opinion because I don't have any direct experience. But if I've heard something or if I have an opinion on it, I'll give it to you. But you can't talk black and white about a lot of these things. And when you have experience, that's the winner. Experience is the winner. So those of you that are looking to get into the fitness field, it's experience. What do you think is the best idea? What's the best certification? The best certification is any single one, honestly, any single one. There's some that are probably better than others, but any single one that's reputable, and then go shadow a trainer who's been doing it for a long time and observe them, help them out, offer your services for free, go intern somewhere, a lot of places to get that experience, because not only will it set you above the pack, you'll learn a lot more, and you'll learn all the things that the average trainer has to learn over the course of 10 or 20 years of all the things that really don't work. Because I'll tell you one thing, after teaching certifications to trainers for years, that's what I've done. I've educated many trainers on how to be personal trainers and train them to take certification courses and stuff through NASM and all that shit. All right. I have a big background in education, being an instructor to personal trainers. And one thing that you need to understand is that the certifications that you get are in many, 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 many ways, maybe 80 or 90% not applicable in the real world. They're just not. You're not going to build a business with it. You're not going to make clients happy with it. It looks nice in a textbook. It looks nice on an exam. But when you get into the real world, it doesn't keep clients. It doesn't educate clients. It doesn't teach you how to actually train clients and all the little things, all the nuances that it really takes to build a business. Knowledge is one thing, but when you have clients, it's a human being. It's not just, oh, this is the best exercise. How do you keep that client? How do you build a business around what you know? And those things are just horribly, they fall tremendously short. They fall drastically and dramatically short in that area, which is why a lot of people have a personal training certification and don't do jack shit with it because they're not educated in how to build a business around that. And a lot of the stuff you'll learn in the certification is great knowledge, but clients don't give a fuck and it won't excite them and it won't keep them engaged. And a lot of people make money by doing random shit for clients because it's exciting and they just throw random shit into their workouts and then their clients just fucking end up doing random shit. And that's what you see at the gym a lot. You see people that are just doing exercises with their clients and training them in a way that it'll make them come back for more because they're just giving them random shit to stimulate them because training is boring. Training is boring. Getting results is repetition and boring. And most clients aren't going to keep on coming back because most people aren't dedicated, most people aren't disciplined, most people aren't consistent, and most people aren't willing to shell out for a personal trainer over the course of years, which is what it really takes to get long-lasting results and build a ton of muscle and get the results that you want. It takes a lot of time. And they don't tell you that because, that'll affect their business and people won't get as many certifications and all that shit. So there's so much stuff out there, but experience. You need to get as much experience as you can. Fuck the education, get the experience. I pretty much have a degree in marketing. And that's just because I've invested all my time in learning it over the past 3 years. I probably know 100 times more than I could ever learn in a fucking 4-year degree that would cost me $250,000. So it's up to you to invest your time and to actually apply this stuff. You have to put the effort in. Doesn't matter what anyone offers, what nutrition plan, what program, you have to fucking do the work. You have to do it yourself, whether it's the physical work or the investment to develop yourself as a human being and as a person, in terms of like what you're trying to accomplish, your goals. You are in control of that. No one is in control of it. No one's in control. It's your responsibility. It's your fault for the success and it's your fault for the failure. It's on you. And when you take that responsibility and you understand that it's all on you, it actually makes it better because you realize you're in control. You're in control of your destiny, but it still means you have to put in the fucking work. So remember that on a Thursday and go make some sick fucking gains. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for episode 1028 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex. Biceps, remember, a couple hours left if you have not yet picked up your Fuck Your Pink Drink gear. It ends in just a few hours. You can find out more. You can go to swolenormousx.com and click on apparel in the main menu. Or you can also just go to swolenormousapparel.com and pick it up. 25% of the proceeds for the Fuck Your Pink Drink shirts, mugs, and all that gear. 25% of the proceeds goes to the Wounded Warrior Project. So go check that out. Last day to grab it. And I'll see everyone tomorrow for episode 1029 of the Daily Sleaze. Peace, my geeks fam. Deuce Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.